right, that's the sound of another Malarkey hour coming right at your face. This is your host, Matt, and with me, my lovely, lovely co-host, Mr. John. How's it going, sir? That says it all. And with us, our special guest from a few weeks back, Mr. Marshall. How's it going, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. So we got a full house now. Full house.
They're great.
All right, so let's get it started.
Tricks
Let's
are for
get
kids.
this week's podcast started. Let's start. We're gonna just a few minutes in the beginning of the podcast. We're gonna talk about the big story from this past week, the Super Bowl. You heard our Super Bowl edition last week, and we're gonna talk about the aftermath. The New England Patriots beat the Seattle Seahawks 28-24, and who predicted a 27-24 score, John? With the Patriots winning? If we rewind back the podcast. Wait, let me rewind it back, the audio. So, John, my prediction for tomorrow's Super Bowl, I think the Patriots are going to win 27-24. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, you took that from a homeless guy.
So, I was off by 1 point, and John was wrong. But John was right the year before, so I guess we're even. We're 1-1 on our Super Bowl picks the last 2 years.
I did have Seattle scoring 31 points.
You did.
And they scored 24. That should have been 30-1.
John's clearly upset because they lost.
Yeah. I bet a lot of Monopoly money.
On the okay, so we're gonna talk about specifically not the whole game, but that last play. I think that's the thing everybody's been talking about.
Oh yeah,
that last decision by Pete Carroll to not run it on second down, but to throw it instead. What do y'all think? Why did he decide to pass it and not run it? Everybody's been disagreeing with Pete Carroll. I don't think there's anybody in America that agrees with his call.
Now, you know what made me mad? I was watching that Mike and Mike in the morning.
Mm-hmm. On ESPN?
Yeah, and it was like 2 days after the Super Bowl.
All right.
And I swear to you, both of them, like, I don't know. I think they're just, like, not brainwashed. I just think they tell them what to think sometimes. And they both said, looking on it now, I think it was the right call. And I'm just getting mad at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'm going back to sleep. And then but I still have the TV on. They're like, looking back on it now, I think it was a good call. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
because they have to cover up the setup.
Seriously.
The setup? You think it's a setup, Marshall?
I think it's obvious it's a setup. I mean,
It was. I don't
that and everything else.
I don't think it was a setup for them to lose.
Okay, so what about, was it last year's Super Bowl when the power went out, or was that 2 years ago?
That was 2012.
That was last year.
That was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Who won last year?
Last year was
Seattle. Yeah, it was.
You're talking about San Francisco.
It was the Baltimore. Yeah,
it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Baltimore Frisco.
So they were beating their ass big time in the Super Bowl, biggest game of the year, and it was a blowout. And what happens? Boom! Power goes out, just like that.
Just like that.
And then what happens? Then they come back and they almost win at the end, or what happened?
Yeah, they almost went at the end. Yeah.
It's actually kind of embarrassing.
Yeah,
as a country, because it's the most like watched worldly event of the year sports wise, unless like the World Cup's going on.
It says something. It says something about the infrastructure of that city that you can't keep the power, the lights on.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and it's like actually, this was the highest rated Super Bowl ever.
Yeah. I think the one before, the one that was rated higher was that San Francisco one, wasn't it? If I'm remembering correctly,
Probably.
I think that was
Because that was
so.
I would believe it.
Yeah.
So, but something went wrong. They did not want to lose the game.
Okay. So why do you think Pete Carroll made that call?
Because he
your
had
opinion?
to.
Because he had to. You think that, Marshall?
No, they're.
What do
I
you think?
hate using this word, but when it's more than one person that makes the decision, it's a conspiracy. That's the definition in my head. There's a conspiracy for Marshawn Lynch not to win the game.
You think that's
and
what it
I'm
was?
sticking by it. Remember I
We talked about it.
2 hours of the game. I go, they didn't want Lynch to win.
Yeah.
I go, they just didn't want Lynch to win it.
Why?
They wanted to win it by any other way.
Yeah.
He's up for a contract renewal.
And he's not the most liked
and
person.
No, they already don't like him. The media, I mean, he's
Everybody doesn't
jerks
like him.
around with the media.
Yeah.
He doesn't answer any questions, talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And they give him that kind of leverage. I mean, you probably saved yourself millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And if I was Marshawn Lynch, I really, I'd leave. I would leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that call single-handedly broke up what could be. I mean, in football, you win 3 in a row. It's a dynasty.
You win 2 in a row as a dynasty, I think, in football.
Yeah. Nobody ever repeats.
Nobody ever repeats.
Yeah,
The
so-
last repeater was the Patriots 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then before that, what, the Cowboys?
Before that was, I think the Cowboys, because before that, oh no, that was Denver. It was Elway's last Super Bowl. He
Okay.
won the last
John
2.
Elway when he was like
Yeah.
45.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
won, he won
But-
2 in a row.
But I'm just saying, there was a conspiracy to make sure Marshawn Lynch did not win the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my strong belief, and there was no other reason why they would not
I think
give
it's
him
based
the
on
football.
one person.
They didn't want him to win the game.
You,
He's arguably the best running back in the whole league.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the best running back in the
Yeah.
whole league. My crazy,
I
like,
mean, they're like, he's like, yeah, you're not gonna pay me in Skittles, and I think he just went in.
a million Skittles.
Yeah,
Like, if you want to get like crazy with explanations of why he did it, one that was floating around is interesting was that Bill Belichick Jedi mind tricked Pete Carroll into making that call.
why didn't Belichick call timeout?
Exactly. Okay, so that's another
Yeah,
aspect that Eric has
yeah.
talked about. Okay. Let's look at another scenario that they score that touchdown. What happens if Seattle scores that touchdown? Bill Belichick gets criticized for not calling it. He had 2 timeouts with 1 minute left. The clock's ticking. It's second down, and Seattle's letting the clock run out. And Bill Belichick doesn't call one of his 2 timeouts. And a lot of theory is like, okay, you got probably the smartest
I
coach
would
in
have
sports.
let them score.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the smartest coach in sports. Wouldn't you agree with Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
He's not a stupid guy. You would think like, okay, he's a very smart coach. Why wouldn't he call a timeout? And even they asked him after, and he said,
Senator Palpatine.
And you know what? And this is something that's interesting. Okay, so let's rewind back and let's go back to that play before that second down. Actually, 2 plays before it. Okay, so Kurz, the receiver for the Seahawks, makes that crazy catch, right? The 33-yarder. And
Right.
they're now down at the 5-yard line. Okay, so they waste so much time because it's such a crazy chain of events. They didn't even know he caught it. Everybody's confused. It took them so long to go down to the line of scrimmage. They had to call a timeout because the play clock was running out.
After that, I mean, they gave us the Lynch, right?
Okay, well let me just finish
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
Okay, so Seattle at that point had 2 timeouts. They had to burn their second timeout because they didn't get to the line of scrimmage in time. The play clock was going to run out, so they had to call their second timeout. So now they're down with 1. Okay, on first down at the 5, they run it with Lynch, and they get stopped at the 1. So now the clock's ticking. So now you have 1 minute left, right? Seattle knows that they have 1 timeout left, and they know they have 3 downs to do it. 3 downs to get into the end zone. Okay, the argument is okay, you run it, right? You have the best running back in the league. You run the ball. You're on the 1-yard line. Okay, so your thinking is, if you're in Pete Carroll's shoes, okay, I run it. What if we don't get in? We have he let the clock run down a lot. Okay, you have what 25 seconds left roughly. You get stopped. You have to call your last time out, right? Or the clock runs out.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you run it on second down and you don't get in. You have to call your timeout. So now you have two downs left. What do you do with no timeouts?
So you're saying-
now you have to pass it, right?
Well, you're saying,
Yeah, for the clock, yeah.
Yeah.
what down are you talking about?
Okay, so
You're talking about a potential third down?
so I'm talking about potentially being stopped on second down, running it,
So you're
right?
talking about a potential third down.
A potential third down, you have to call timeout, right? Because
So an incomplete pass stops the clock,
Yeah.
and you get to play all over again.
okay, so
No.
so okay, no. This is a theory that's flying around. Why Belichick didn't call a timeout? He knows Pete Carroll's thinking that already. He already knows. Okay, he's gonna be thinking, okay, if I run it, I'm giving myself. It's either I'm all in. I'm putting my chips all in. I'm gonna run it, and if I don't get in, I have to gonna call a timeout, and now I'm gonna have to pass it on the last 2 downs. I'm going to have to pass it. I have no timeouts left. There's not enough time for me to run it. And if I get stopped on 3rd down, on 4th down, we're going to have to rush a play because they're running out of time. Yeah. They don't have any more timeouts. So essentially, you paint yourself in the corner where now I'm going to have to pass the ball on the last 2 downs.
Give them a free timeout.
So Belichick's already thinking, okay, if I call timeout with a minute left on 2nd down, I'm gonna give him time to think. Now Pete Carroll's gonna run it. Now he's gonna have enough time to calm himself down.
Yeah.
He's gonna run it. He's gonna have a whole minute left on the clock.
I can see that. Yeah.
So now if he gets stopped on 2nd down running it, he doesn't have to call timeout. Now he has enough time to run it again on 3rd, and then he can call a timeout if he doesn't get it in.
Yeah.
So that's the thinking of why Belichick didn't call that timeout with 1 minute left. He's already thinking ahead. He's forcing Pete Carroll's hands. He's forcing him. You either run it on 2nd down, hoping Lynch gets in,
putting the pressure on him.
He doesn't get in. You have to call timeout, and now you're forced to pass on the last 2 downs.
Okay. Well, that explains the timeout theory.
Yeah.
It does not explain the offensive call.
No, I think Belichick forced Pete Carroll's hand.
No.
I think the offensive
I
call,
really do think.
if it wasn't a conspiracy, it was just a mistake because he was being rushed.
Yeah, I think Pete Carroll's biggest mistake, I think the biggest mistake, not so much that pass call. I think Pete Carroll's biggest mistake, he had timeout. He called timeout when they were 1st down at the 5. He should have had 2 plays already. Okay, guys, we're gonna run down 1st down. If we don't get in, here's the 2nd play. Let's run that play, as quickly as we can.
Yeah, they fucked up.
And that's where he fucked up. I don't think deciding to pass it was that much of a fuck up. I think not having a 2nd play right after that first down play set up already, that was the biggest mistake.
Yeah. Because they could have,
Yeah.
I mean, I see your point because, so they could pass now and use it like as a whatever timeout and then run it at the very end when they're out of time. So it makes sense.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's you know what? If he makes that catch, Pete Carroll's lauded as what a creative call. Everybody's thinking you're going to run it and you pass it, you win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Or you could take the strongest,
I
biggest
understand.
running back in the NFL.
I understand.
And gain half a yard with 3 tries.
But we also have
and win the Super Bowl.
But we also have the benefit of hindsight. We're not in the situation where it's a minute left. We don't have timeouts. The clock's running.
I don't care if they know it's coming.
No. I'm saying as a decision maker, when you're put in that position, there's chaos. Okay, and then here's another point that got brought up. Here's another point.
These are people that are pressured under chaos. They don't hire people that are.
How many coaches?
Crazy under chaos.
How many coaches?
This guy's been in the NFL.
I know.
He went to college. He won
how
in
many
college,
coaches?
and then he came back.
How many
to the
NFL coaches do we know that do panic?
He's one of the best fucking coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, but how many coaches? A lot of NFL coaches panic. I mean, they're not immune to it.
Run.
Yeah.
Run.
Okay, but here's another statistic that got brought up. Here's another statistic that got brought up during the week. Seattle, during the season, ran it 5 times from the 1-yard line with Lynch. How many times do you think he got in?
Because you're trying to prove me wrong.
No, I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm not.
1
time.
No, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking Super Bowl.
I understand.
Your offensive linemen are going to put their cocks and their arms out. They're going to put their heads out. They're going to get concussions to get you that half a yard.
Yeah, but the defense.
And then you're going to have a Super Bowl party.
And also
you're going to have a Super Bowl party.
And also another statistic.
Because throwing the ball down the middle is something you haven't done all night.
Okay, and throwing it. Okay, here's another statistic.
Yeah, how many passes did they complete?
Do you realize
they were all to the outside?
Do you
nothing
realize
down the middle and nothing? No 2-yard slant routes.
Do you realize this is the first time all year in the NFL, all year, not just Seattle, every team in the NFL that passed it on the 1-yard line all season long, 0 interceptions, 0 interceptions.
Don't care.
But I'm just saying.
How many of those teams had Marshawn Lynch?
Like 3 of them. Not a lot of people know that. Like 3 of them.
I don't believe you.
And I was just trying to say, there's 2 sides to the argument, and I think
he bites people. He runs over people.
I just think people are taking it like this is.
It's like when you play the video game and then you put the cheat code in and then you get Marshawn Lynch and you gain like 8 yards a carry.
I just think people are making too much of like this is the most obvious calling. No, like this isn't like like, oh, he just has to kick an extra point and then win, and he just decided not to kick the extra point. No, there's still a lot of variables to it. But I mean, it's I don't care. They lost.
I'm glad they lost. I'm glad
over
they
with.
lost.
Yeah.
I don't like Seahawks, to tell you the truth.
I lost some money.
Yeah.
Not
So.
You don't deserve to have the money.
probably not, but that is. Oh, that doesn't make a difference.
Okay, so that was Super Bowl. I think that's been talked to death. I think everybody's over it.
Yeah.
So let's.
You are never gonna convince the majority of people.
Oh, I know.
that
I'm
was the right
not trying to
call.
convince. I'm not trying to convince anybody.
That's why when I heard Mike and Mike, I was like, "Are you guys fucking serious?"
I'm not trying to convince anybody.
Like, now that we think about it, maybe it was a good call. No, it will never be the right call.
Be-
Did you hear the Seattle? Have you heard the recordings of like the Seattle sections with the fans at the Super Bowl?
Not really. I haven't really.
They're just dude on second down. Beast mode, beast mode,
Yeah.
beast mode,
Yeah,
beast mode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all
I
they're
mean,
fucking
it's
saying. Run it,
yeah.
run it with Lynch.
Yeah.
Something that's worked for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Something that's the reason they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I have this magic weapon that'll help us win the Super Bowl. Oh, let's not use that.
Yeah. 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 It happens, but let's not belabor the
No,
point.
it doesn't happen often.
It does. I mean, they don't. I mean, if there's teams that don't always run it on the 1 yard line, I mean, it happens. This is a passing league.
It's the Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter if it's a Super Bowl, the regular. It's like people pass it, like teams pass it, the 1 yard line all the time.
If I was Marshawn Lynch, I would not come back. For
No,
that.
he's not gonna come back. He's not gonna come back.
I think that single-handedly broke up what could be a dynasty.
It could have been a dynasty. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But let's football season's over. I think everybody's tired of talking to the Super Bowl.
I'm out.
Let's let's move on. Let's talk about the main subject that we want to talk about this week. Let's not get too sidetracked. John, and Marshall, let's talk a little bit about sleep.
I like to sleep.
I think a lot of people like to sleep.
Do you?
Not everybody.
Do you sleep around? Or
If I get the chance, yeah.
Or is it more of an oval position?
Obtuse. Does obtuse apply right now?
I've watched you sleep. It looks.
Nice, soothing sounds of sleep.
I've watched you sleep. It looks more acute than obtuse.
Is that gay?
No, I'm just observing your sleep. What the hell are you doing?
There's this person sleeping. Okay, so
That was Pete Carroll during second down.
yes. Let's talk about sleep and dreams. That's the subject of this week's podcast: sleeping and dreams. Why do we need either of them? Like, why do we have to sleep, and why do we have dreams? That's the central question that we're going to answer for you on this podcast for the first time ever in human history. We're going to explain to you why we sleep and why we need to dream.
We don't need to dream.
Well, that's a big thing. Let's get into it. Why do we need to dream? I mean, that's a weird thing. Like, why do we need to dream?
I think it helps to prepare yourself for stressful situations.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think, yeah. Like, you have nightmares and you have bad dreams, and it helps you deal with things later on in real life.
Okay, so
You sound like a little girl.
okay,
I don't like nightmares.
so dreams. It's interesting.
I welcome my nightmares.
Okay, a question I pose to you: what do you dream about?
They're better than reality.
What do you usually dream about? Like, when you have dreams, so what comes from? Like, usually, what are they? Like,
I dream about sleep.
You dream about sleep?
I have a recurring dream that I actually just had last night, maybe the night before. And it takes place in this lodge.
This could be graphic. Just to let.
No, it's not.
If you have young children, then
Why are you letting them listen to our podcast?
Yeah.
right. What is it? Bring them closer to the speaker so they can hear better.
Children, scooch closer.
Scooch closer, children. Don't make me tell you again about the scooching.
That's not creepy.
Anyway,
Creepy at all.
go ahead.
Go ahead, tell us about your dream.
I forgot now.
Shut up.
No, so it takes
It's a
place.
recurrent dream.
It takes place in
I'm
this
Dr.
lodge,
Fraser Crane, and I'm
like
listening.
a lodge like in New Mexico in the mountains.
Right.
And it always happened. Like I'm
How do you
always
know? How do
traveling
you know it's in New
towards
Mexico?
because it's my fucking dream.
So you're just conscious that's in New Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody told me, but it just feels like New Mexico.
That's a weird thing. Like
Yeah.
I've had that where nobody tells you like a certain, like something that you can't possibly know just by looking around you, but you just know.
Do you ever like see people in your dream and like it doesn't look like the person that
Yeah,
you know it is?
but you know it's them. Yeah. Because like I never really see faces. in
Yeah,
my
either
dreams.
do I. It's
Yeah.
like a
Why?
mental.
It's a blur, but it's like the essence of like
Yeah.
say like John's in my dream. It's
Yeah.
like it's not John's face.
like
It's
a
the
big,
essence
giant
of John.
girl.
Yeah.
Why are you dressed like Samuel L. Jackson?
Right.
dressed,
Okay. So you're in New Mexico.
Yeah.
and nothing really happens. It's just really creepy.
Okay. So where
So-
you at? Like are you in the city? Like in the city or in the
It's
desert?
no, it's in like on the side of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It's way off out of nowhere. And
New
I'm
Mexico's
always, like,
weird, isn't it? Like
walking-
they have mountains and deserts and
Yeah, New Mexico's beautiful.
yeah.
But I'm always like walking down this path
Uh-huh.
with sometimes it has a fence on the side,
Uh-huh.
and I'm walking down this path towards this lodge. And every time I get there, it's like I'm supposed to be there, but I'm not supposed
Is
to
it
be
a
there.
gay lodge?
I don't think so.
A gay lodge? Is that you mean?
There's usually nobody there.
I'm not homophobic.
What's the
right?
difference between a straight lodge and a gay lodge?
John
In the
knows.
gay lodge, there's lots of gay sex.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's the distinguishing feature.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I want to know the environment.
Okay,
that he's in.
so you get to his lodge, and what happens?
And I feel like it's very creepy. And I
Just-
go
just
I
the-
go
just the atmosphere?
inside and it's dark and it's just
Uh-huh.
like nobody there.
Uh-huh.
And
So you're walking by yourself?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every time I'm pretty much alone.
So is it nighttime, daytime?
Sometimes I get to the lodge and it's like daytime when I get there.
All right.
But inside the lodge it looks like it's night 'cause it's real dark.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I get there's people there, but they're all strangers and they all disappear very quickly.
It's probably because they saw you.
Exactly. And there's like a lake outside the lodge.
You
and,
do
a few
have
times
that predator look to you.
I do.
Like Predator, like from the movie, like he could disappear in the woods. And,
No, I can see like
No,
heat.
more like
Can he see heat?
Yeah.
more like to catch a predator. That kind of look.
Okay, so and then it just ends at that. Like
Sorry.
you just get to the cabin.
Actually,
It just kinda goes on.
This is Marshall's therapy, and I'm like fucking it all up. Go
It
ahead.
just kind of goes on, and a few times it kind of extends, and there's like a lake next to it. And I've like walked down this other path, like past some construction, and
Uh-huh.
into this town. But the whole dream carries this whole like
What does the town
dark
look like?
sense.
Okay.
It looks like a street corner with a CVS on it. Like it just
Like Silent Hill with a CVS.
kind of. It's really creepy.
I hate those dreams where the town's empty.
Yeah.
I get those.
And it's like I feel like I want someone to like help me.
Uh-huh.
Like take me home or something, but there's like never anybody there. It's always like really dark and kind of like
I got some popsicles in my basement.
it's always very weird.
Uh-huh. And then it usually ends at that, or it just,
Yeah, nothing really ever
Nothing happens?
other than me being like confused,
Uh-huh.
lost. I think the basis is like it's like being lost in like
Maybe it's
Okay,
better,
so-
maybe
so-
it's better
place.
that you don't get to the end of the dream.
So do you believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how some people try to like get meaning from dreams. Like, do you
Yeah.
believe in that? Like, do you believe there's
I
a,
don't
there's a
know.
reason? And because I don't. I don't think there's like meaning in dreams.
I think like there's a very basic like if you're really stressed out,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have bad dreams. For
Yeah.
your dreams.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think that dream is gonna tell you exactly what you need to do in your life to
Uh-huh.
make it better. I think that's
Yeah.
that's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, have you ever had a dream about a person you haven't seen in like years, and you haven't even thought of them, and they just pop in your dream?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I haven't
Yeah.
thought of that person for years. Like,
Yeah, like middle
why?
school and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
But why are you dreaming about that person? It's weird.
Let me ask you this:
Go ahead.
Was there no, even if it was like the slightest reference to that person before you have the dream?
See,
or-
yeah, you would think
No,
that.
I'm saying there was. Did you see?
No.
Did you see their
No.
profile on Facebook?
No,
for,
no.
for 2 minutes.
No,
Did
because
you
I thought
see-
of that. Yeah, 'cause
there's nothing.
No, because I've thought of that. Because I'm like, why did I dream that person? And then I start going back to the days, and no, I literally haven't even. I even forgotten about this. I even forgotten they
Yeah.
existed. You ever forget?
Yeah.
Like as you get older, you forget people exist. Like you haven't seen them in years. You haven't seen them in 10+ years, and then you just forget they exist, and all of a sudden it pops up, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that person.
You told me that. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not going to name any specifics, but he said, when I haven't seen a person in like several months, he goes, I just assume they're dead. And you're like, they're no longer part of my mindset.
Because
and I was
technically,
like, well, I don't think that.
well, technically, like they're not part of your life. So like,
Yeah.
like if you think about yourself just subjectively, like they're not part of your life. So technically, if you're looking at it like in a movie, once that character gets out of the they don't exist anymore, right? Like,
Yeah. It's like you're on a sitcom and they got kicked off.
yeah, it's like what was, remember on Family Matters when the third kid all of a sudden just disappears? Judy's by all accounts she's dead, right?
What happened to her?
Nobody knows. She went upstairs one day.
That's funny. You're a little younger than us, but not much. You remember Family Matters? Steve
No.
Urkel? Steve Urkel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. There was how many daughters were there?
it was 2 daughters and the son.
19.
Okay, so there was 3 daughters.
There was 2 daughters,
Including
2 daughters, and then the son.
Oh, Judy was one of the daughters.
Yes.
Okay. Well, they had a daughter named Judy, and then one day Judy just goes upstairs, and then they never
They don't talk about it.
She's not in the next episode.
Like-
She's
like
not
she-
in the next
like
5 years.
It wasn't like
worth of episodes.
it wasn't like
That's
she
not
grew up
creative.
and she went to college or anything.
Yeah.
She was like maybe 14, 15 years old at the time, and then she just disappeared.
I thought these people were supposed to be creative. Like, shouldn't they have a story for her?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Judy's been dead for 17 years.
So I call it the Judy effect. When somebody like I don't see people for months like this, the Judy effect. They just don't exist anymore. In my life, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I remember just nights drenched in sweat, just
Thinking about Judy.
dreaming and
Of Judy.
thinking about Judy.
What
and
happened to
what
Judy?
happened to Judy?
What happened to Judy for Family Matters?
Oh God! Don't bring me back there.
I feel like we should put like missing person posters up looking for Judy.
All right. Have you seen Judy?
Have you seen Judy? But yeah, okay. So
Milk.
This is the last known footage of her going upstairs in episode 34.
Right. If anybody's seen this person, she looked just like. And then you know how they have it on TV where like a kid goes missing and then like it's been like years and then they age them. So like we have to age Judy's
Yeah.
picture because it's been a few years now. We got to age her picture because we don't know how she looks like now.
I don't know what she looks like before.
So, what about you, John? Do you have a reoccurring dream that like confuses you that you have like on a consistent basis that you can't just quite?
Not anymore. I used to when I was like a kid.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of a lame dream, but I used to dream that I was in my parents' room and
Gross.
there was gross. Okay, and there was the door would open like really wide, but there was enough space for like where the door would open to where it wouldn't go against the wall. There was enough space for you to hide behind the door. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
gotcha.
And I used to dream this fucking like nightmare. It was almost like Nightmare on Elm Street. Guy with claws would like come after me, and then I would run to the garage. And I had that dream recurring. And I probably had it like 15 times growing up, which explains all my fucked up brain. But they were not coming after me to like shake my hand. I mean, he was coming after me to kill me.
Yeah. And then you would wake up before he killed you.
Yeah, I would usually make it through the garage door, and and I would jump out of bed.
Yeah. That's usually what happens. That's the reason.
Hysterically.
That's why you never really like have that moment of getting killed because usually because they say your real heart starts actually like beating really hard and you wake yourself up because
Yeah.
your heart's beating so fast.
Yeah.
So it actually wakes you up.
You know, like they say, if you wake up in panic, you're not gonna have a heart attack.
No, you're not gonna have a heart attack.
Because basically, definition of a heart attack is your heart slowing down and not beating anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, if your heart's beating fast, it's the opposite of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't had that dream in years. But I remember it because all through like maybe like early middle school, I had it.
Yeah.
Why do you have reoccurring dreams?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor.
Well, it might be. I think part of it too is you have for the most part, people's lives are pretty much the same on a consistent basis. Like you go to work or whatever, you go to school, whatever. So there's something in that combination of your life that brings up that dream, So like every once in a while, it's just the right combination, like almost like a lock, and
Right.
you have that dream.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes literally what you're worrying and thinking about, you dream about.
Yeah.
But not always. Sometimes it's not the most significant thing that you're thinking about, but it's part of,
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
you're-
sometimes it can be like something completely meaningless
Yeah.
that happened in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say you get like 6 things on your mind. It could be the least significant of the 6, and
Yeah.
then you dream about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe because it's more important than you thought it was.
Yeah.
I have no fucking
But
idea
like,
what I'm talking
how
about.
would your unconscious or your whatever know, but not your brain? I never understood that.
I don't know.
It's sort of. Did you ever like when I was young? I used to do this trick because I realized I started finding a pattern where if I thought of something like maybe 3 hours, about 2 to 3 hours before I went to sleep, whenever I was thinking about then, I usually dreamt about. So I got to like, okay, I really want to dream about this. So I started thinking about it like around 3 hours before I went to bed, and sometimes it would work. So like maybe something like you think about and then you sort of forget, but you don't forget enough to where it's sort of back in your mind, but it's not so hidden to where you could bring it back up when you're dreaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've even mentioned it before with the whole lucid dreaming thing.
Yeah.
Is that I try to do it with shit I read on the internet.
Or like Inception and shit. That's where I get all my dream like inspirations.
It's where
From
you
Inception?
From Inception.
Yeah, I've never
you
seen
have those
Inception.
wet
You never seen
you have
Inception?
those wet dreams with DiCaprio in them.
Exactly.
Nice.
The
You're in it, Marshall.
Huh?
You're in Inception, aren't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though.
Was it the actor's name? That Cillian Murphy? Yeah.
he's
A lot of people don't know Marshall's actually Cillian Murphy.
yeah. He goes by Marshall to
Yeah.
stay under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marshall doesn't like to brag about his fame.
No, I keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about wet dreams.
Well, let's talk about sleep in general.
Is that like when I fall asleep and,
And somebody throws water on you?
I'm drinking a beer and then I just drop it on myself.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about sleep in general. Like, why do you think we need sleep? It's a weird, like, if you think about it, a lot of people say, well, because for you to rest, but you could just lay down and rest. Like, why do you physically, like, if you don't get sleep, you go crazy. You could die.
Because your brain is.
Like, yeah, like,
I
why,
don't
like
know.
it's weird. Like, it's like almost
Something.
like your brain doesn't need, but like, does your brain really rest? Like, you're
I think
dreaming.
so, yeah.
Your brain is responsible for so many things.
Yeah. Like everything.
Like everything. I'm going with like hormones and adrenals, things like that.
Yeah, no, like seriously everything.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk about every.
Well, there's
Ever-
there's the argument that your brain's what brings the reality of what you think is reality up.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this is real has to come from your brain.
Your own interpretation.
Yeah, your own interpretation of what reality is. Like your
Yeah.
reality might be different from my reality.
Yeah. What is green?
Yeah,
You
like
know?
exactly. Like I have no idea how you see the world. There's no. You could tell me. You could write me a whole book on how you saw Thursday, and
Yeah.
there is no way I can understand it.
Yeah.
There's you could be detailed everything. There's no way I can understand how you saw Thursday and how I saw last Thursday.
Yeah.
I think you should at least pretend to like my book, considering I wrote it all about one particular fucking Thursday. Because I'm not sure I could write that much.
I'll read the Cliff Notes version. That's the way I went through high school. I just read all Cliff Notes. So I'll do that.
I read the 3 free pages on Amazon.
Right?
Yeah.
I got the gist.
table of contents.
I got the gist of your thirsty through that. So.
No, but it's okay. Something I don't know. And in fact, this is the Malarkey hour, so we have no facts. But something that I did read was people who, use me as an example. Like you have extra weight around your stomach and whatever, right? It's like, well, yeah, maybe you drink too much, you eat too much, you don't work
I
out.
don't. I have a perfect 6-pack, John.
Good thing this is all audio. So
I have a
we
perfect
can't-
six-pack.
So we can't prove Matt in
Perfect
his
6. I'm showing it
oral-
right now, and John isn't impressed. I can see the
John's getting a hard on.
John is John's
Well, you
getting-
brought a 12-pack. I haven't seen anything other than that. No, but
Go ahead.
what happens is, like, let's say you run, I don't know, 3 miles on a treadmill, and you can't sleep. When you're losing.
I can't sleep on the treadmill.
You're losing calories.
Yeah, a lot of people can't sleep on the treadmill, John. Especially when they're running 3 miles.
Very nice. Okay. You're losing calories on the treadmill. You don't lose the weight until you sleep.
Yeah. It's a lot of people don't understand. You lose weight when you're resting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your metabolism's already
running.
like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, when he goes to sleep,
Exactly.
we'll burn off the fat.
Uh-huh.
But you don't lose it till you sleep. So if
Yeah.
you can't sleep, okay, that's one thing. So that's just one thing. Mm-hmm. Imagine all the other shit. And that's why I get mad, because I don't know how you feel, Marshall, but have you read about adrenal fatigue?
Yeah.
Do you
I quit drinking coffee because of it.
Do you believe in it?
Yes.
'Cause I do.
Because I feel it.
Because they, like, medical people only acknowledge, what is it, Addison's, and I think it's Cushing's, which basically means your adrenals are like this. I'm not a doctor. I don't fucking know. Again, malarkey, right? Do some Googling for yourself. By your kidneys, you got these little, adrenal glands.
Yeah.
That are either, when they're pumped up, you're wired. When they're down, you're sleepy. And when they're in the middle, you're just in the middle.
Yeah.
So they either have, I think, Addison's and Cushing's, which either means, one means that they don't work at all. The other means that they can't turn off. And I believe that there is an in-between.
Yeah.
It's like saying, oh, your arm's fucked up. But I'm like, I could still do this. You
Like,
know?
what do you mean? There's in between the.
No, yeah, I'm saying they only acknowledge Addison's and Cushing's.
Oh yeah, they don't acknowledge it in between.
They don't acknowledge.
They don't acknowledge a healthy state?
They don't acknowledge that it could just be fucked up sometimes.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. And it's responsible for so much shit.
Right.
Because if that's not going, I'm saying the symptoms go on. It's high blood pressure. It's fucking anxiety. It's fucking diabetes.
Well, yeah.
And then that's where the difference between health care and fucking just health and, like, you know,
Right.
the word doctor is like Latin for, I think it's to teach.
Yeah.
When the fuck did you learn something from your doctor?
Yeah.
Our healthcare.
The last thing to say is exercise could help.
Well,
that's all they say.
It's just I don't want to go too much of a tangent, but yeah, like with healthcare, is a lot of people look at it as like you're sick and that's when you can go. A lot of people don't look at preventive, maintaining a healthy.
Yeah.
You know, people who feel healthy, they don't go to the doctor.
Yeah, Western medicine focuses on the disease itself.
Yeah, they focus on sickness. They don't focus on being healthy.
Yeah. Not preventing
Yeah. What if I said right now, it's like, right, there is something. Adrenal fatigue's real, right? Let's pretend it's real.
It is real.
No, I know, but they won't acknowledge it. No, I'm saying not a regular doctor.
Well, there's a lot of money involved.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
So you have your high blood pressure, you have your high sugar or low sugar, you have insomnia, you have anxiety, you have... I don't know. There's more. But I'm saying, so instead they treat every symptom instead of treating what could be the root cause. And let's get your adrenal glands under control.
Why do you think adrenal glands go haywire? I think it's from too much
Lifestyle.
Yeah. I felt it because I drank too much coffee, too much Red Bull, too much caffeine, period.
No.
Then I got to a point where I was...
No, it's mainly lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that are born with it, but I would say 95% is lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me,
eating
like
healthy.
I know you guys don't do it, but for me, like I started, you know, I meditate twice a day. I wake up and I meditate, and then not before I go to sleep, but in the evening.
Do you use the tissue?
Yes.
I just, you know.
Or do you just meditate all over the
I
place?
just meditate all over the place. I don't care where I get it. It's my house.
It explains the stain on your shirt.
It's my house. I can do what I want. No, so I mean, and I found that it does help me sleep. You know, it's
Right.
calms me down, and I do drink a lot of coffee. I'm constantly with caffeine, and Red Bull, and everything, but I never had trouble sleeping at night.
No.
I
never experienced...
I could drink coffee at night, and it doesn't affect my sleep.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you right now, people that need caffeine all the time, which
And I don't need it. Like, I don't drink coffee on the weekends, and I'm fine. I'm awake.
Yeah.
right.
No, you don't need it.
No, but I mean that's. I'm not saying that's you, but
No,
that's typically a dopamine
Yeah, it's
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
which-
need that.
which is still
Yeah.
an adrenal problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, there's people who have trouble sleeping and say it's not caffeine. They don't drink caffeine, and there's people who don't drink caffeine. They say I don't drink any caffeine. I'm pretty healthy, and they just can't sleep.
Yeah.
Neurotransmitters.
Explain.
Getting
For our audience.
getting the right balance. I'm looking at you, Marshall. Getting the right balance is
Why are you looking at me?
because we both know a little bit about this. It's a guess and check game.
Yeah.
There is no complete diagnosis, and that baffles my fucking mind.
Why?
To this day,
Everybody's brains
that
different.
we can fucking send. We didn't do it, but they put a fucking little robot on an asteroid a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And we cannot, because all they can test is the blood, and it changes throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so what's in the blood? You know,
Right.
Yeah,
It's
your
like,
levels
so, I
of-
mean, you got
yeah.
serotonin, your norepinephrine, you got your
Yeah.
dopamine, you got your what's the other one that's big right now? The
Acetylcholine?
acetylcholine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't. It is literally guess and check.
No,
and
yeah, it is.
it's not like see how I feel tomorrow. It's see how I feel in 2 months,
Yeah.
and that is dangerous to me.
It is, but
You know, I'm gonna go really off. Go ahead, finish yours. I'm
I
gonna go
think
off topic a second.
that if every person were to eat, I mean, it's hard, but if you were to eat extremely healthy, like nothing
Let's
but
all
whole
go on a
foods, fresh
kale
foods,
diet.
yeah, if everybody ate nothing but like
I don't know what the
fresh
fuck kale was
vegetables,
till
real
last year.
stuff, nothing chemical, nothing processed,
uh-huh.
I think that we wouldn't have so many problems with our chemical imbalances and all that. Like we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole food stores, they got it right.
I think so, yeah.
Brown eggs better than white eggs.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well, that's what they tell people. It's like, well, if you really want to do it, farm
I've always-
chickens.
I always find it weird that brown chickens have brown eggs and white chickens have white eggs.
Is that racist?
I don't know, like it's weird, but like
Are chickens racist?
Yeah.
I only eat interracial eggs.
You realize you realize there's no difference between a brown egg and a white egg.
Hey, they're all yellow on the inside.
I will argue with that on you.
There's no difference. They've said it, like there's no difference between a brown egg and a white egg. You know, some people won't eat brown eggs.
Why?
I don't know. They think it's weird. I'm like, there's no difference. Like it's the same shit.
I'll eat eggs, no matter what the color.
Yeah.
Unless they're blue. That'd be weird.
They're eating duck eggs.
No. Are they spotted?
Are they spotted? I can't remember. I've had it once, and it's actually not that bad.
Were they cooked?
Yeah, they're cooked.
So-
Like, yeah, like it's like you it's like scrambled eggs.
Huh.
So if I got a bunch of chickens in a cage and they lay eggs, what color are they?
You know, that's the thing. So sometimes sometimes they'll lay brown eggs. Sometimes they'll lay white. There's no like
Yeah.
there's no. Sometimes it just depends on
Well,
what the chicken.
the difference that I've seen.
Because a chicken the same chicken can lay white eggs and the same chicken can lay brown eggs.
The difference that I've seen.
Sometimes they
from
bleach
that, what is it? Fat, sick, healthy duck, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
Food
yeah.
Inc. Is that we know that the chickens that you have that are laying the eggs have not been drugged up, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that's the main difference that we know.
But you know the dirty little secret on like foods on the foods that we have now. All the antibiotics that they put into the animals are making us live longer. It's unhealthy. We're living longer, but we're living more unhealthy. But we're living longer. All this shit that they put into chickens and
Is that really better in
beef.
your opinion?
No, I'm just saying it's making us live longer. We're living more unhealthy, but we're living longer. That's the dirty little secret that we really don't. If we went back to how we were,
Well,
I mean, there's a reason that human life expectancy has gone up.
we've become
Yeah.
That's part of it. It's our food.
Yeah.
You know?
we've become very, very, very good at keeping people alive.
Yeah, but not healthy.
No, not
Yeah, but
healthy
you're
at all.
miserable the whole
Yeah,
time.
you're miserable the whole time. Yeah.
I got 2 tubes in my nose. I got one up my ass. I'm waiting for a
Yeah, but
morphine
that's
shot.
that's
and-
your option. You want that tip? I mean, you asked for it. You don't need it.
Well, yeah, when I
It was a weird request, but
when I checked in, I was like, my pinky hurts, and they're like, you need anything? I said, tube up my ass, and
they're like, okay, sure, whatever you want.
and they just moved on from there. And I was like, do you want the tube out? I was like, no.
No, you leave that in.
Well, with Obamacare, it's covered now.
That's covered. Yeah, that's what's great about Obamacare. The tube of the ass is covered. John, you're like that's one. When John heard that, John rejoiced. When John heard the tube of the ass was covered by Obamacare, John rejoiced.
If you don't get the metaphorical, if you don't get the real tube, get the metaphorical tube up your ass.
Yeah.
It'll cost you about $2,000 a year if you're lucky.
So sleep and why we need it. Okay, so
How much sleep do you get?
I get about 6 hours a night, if that, maybe less.
I get 8.
I get
Sometimes
more.
7.
But you know what? I get it in spurts. That's how bad my sleep is.
Yeah, and I wake up most of the time at night, at least once.
You know what?
I don't.
More than once.
How do you guys react to alcohol and sleep?
Oh, it's terrible. Like,
You know,
I don't
it gives
sleep
me,
at all.
I sleep normal. Well, sometimes it's hard to fall asleep, but I'll have crazy dreams with alcohol.
I'm saying, what do you sleep, like 3 or 4 hours and wake up?
No, I sleep fine.
Do you actually go through your whole 8 hours? 7 8 hours?
Well, usually when I drink, I stay up late, so I wake up in the morning around when the sun comes up, and then I fall back asleep.
Yeah, see, like I'm the same way. Like I get up early every day, but when I drink, I wake up the same time.
Yeah.
Even
was
I went
this like a few weeks ago when I had to crash at your house?
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up at like 6. Yeah.
And you woke my ass up at 10, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I can't go back to sleep.
Yeah, because I mean, alcohol. You think like you'll pass out, but you don't get a good sleep. Your body's constantly waking yourself. You don't realize it, but your body isn't getting any rest.
Yeah.
Because your body's still metabolizing the alcohol.
Right. Especially if you already have a sleep disorder that I'm sure that doesn't help.
Yeah, and a lot of people think like, oh, you drink alcohol, you pass. Yeah, you pass out. Like you could pass out, like you fall asleep, but you're not getting sleep.
Not good sleep.
Yeah, not good sleep. Like we talked about, why we need sleep. Yeah, it's our mind rests. So when you drink alcohol, our mind doesn't rest. That's the reason you feel shit in the morning. Part of it's dehydration, and part of it's because your mind didn't get rest.
So what about marijuana and sleep?
Well, I've never tried marijuana, but I have
Heard, and I've read studies.
Heard it counts in
Someone who I met swim.
Well, there's a lot of people who claim that it helps them go to sleep.
Oh yeah, marijuana is a
I'll-
proven sleep remedy.
Yeah.
Proven to me at least.
I'll say back when I used to smoke, quotes, I think that
Hey John, pass me that bong.
that's my bong. That
The Malarkey Hour is a smoke-free zone. We do not endorse or encourage any of the kids listening to us right now to do any drugs. Thank you. Go ahead.
that my mind would race, but it would race, I don't know, manageable pace.
At a steady pace.
Yeah, but you already know, the night's over, the day's over, and you can just close your eyes
Get
or watch
high
TV.
and let your mind take a shit. That's what I think it is.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let your brain take a dump.
Oh, and we all know taking a shit is the greatest thing to ever exist.
I feel like I let my brain take.
What
too many
about
poops.
Jesus?
Second greatest thing. like taking a shit is one of the greatest pleasures in life. If tomorrow they said, okay, you're never gonna need to shit again. Like your body doesn't need to shit again. You'll be fine. I'll be really sad.
Would you be sad?
I'll be really sad. Like you know, your body didn't need it anymore. You're like, no, you'll be fine. Like your body will feel better. But no. Just give me the shit. Like I don't care if my body feels worse.
I don't know.
I need that.
I'd rather not shit.
Oh, we're sure in a
I hate wiping.
You hate wiping.
Yeah. That's the worst part.
The wiping.
Yeah. I wish
I
you
don't
could
mind the wiping.
I wish you could dump clean every time.
Oh, get a bidet.
But then it just spreads poop on your balls.
bidet, night, whatever you need. I wish. I wish I was like at a Bible school and like Matt handed me in his paper. Number one was what was number one?
What?
After number one was shit.
Oh, I like the way Pharisee.
Number two is Jesus.
Well, technically, shit would have to be number 2, right?
Why?
Oh, think about it. Shit would have to be number 2, right? Right?
Good joke. Good joke.
Yeah, so.
John thought it was funny.
Shaking my head.
Oh, SMH.
But okay, so.
Just you, because we're not drinking.
So okay, let's talk about sleep aids. Now that we got into that topic, have you ever tried? John,
I've tried it twice.
You've talked about before about your troubles with sleeping. Like you have trouble sleeping.
Very much so.
So have you tried sleeping aids like Ambien or?
Yep.
And how do you feel on it? Like do you think it helps you? Do you think it?
Benadryl and like Vistaril, which is prescription strength, basically version of Benadryl.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things will work, but they work. They don't work long term. I've seen the new one that I've seen on TV is liposomal or like liposol. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
I've wanted to try that. It's a liquid.
Mm-hmm.
But like NyQuil, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, I find like some people they say they'll take NyQuil and like, oh, I can't take NyQuil. Like NyQuil doesn't knock me out. I could take NyQuil before.
NyQuil, all it has is antihistamine and alcohol.
Yeah. So like I'll take it in the morning, and even if I have to do some stuff, it doesn't affect me. I don't feel drowsy.
Yeah.
I wish melatonin would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It did for a little while.
It doesn't work for you?
No.
It works so good for me.
Do you what dosage? How much? What do you take?
I think it's 5 milligrams.
Just 5?
Yeah.
Not extended.
5 or 10. No, not
extended release. Just regular.
Yeah.
Pill.
Yep.
You know what I've tried that has helped me like calm me down like before I go to sleep? And I used to take it, and I stopped taking it.
Excessive masturbation.
Excessive masturbation really helps, but the second thing that helps
until you bleed.
I know you said you haven't
having
taken
someone
it.
assist with you in excessive masturbation.
I know John. You said you haven't taken it. I don't know about you, Marsha, but are you taking the valerian root?
Yeah, I've taken it with the Onnit's product, that New Mood.
Uh-huh.
I've taken it with that.
Okay.
And honestly,
I
have to say this real quick, but I will never take New Mood again.
Why? What happened?
I had the worst nightmare in my
entire
life. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I felt like so strange. And, yeah.
Huh.
I think it's the valerian root too.
The
thing with valerian root is that I've heard that, or not heard, but read that people take it during the day too.
I take it during the day. I take it more than you're supposed to take. Like I take it a lot. And and maybe I'm just not susceptible to it, but it helps me. I could feel like a difference. I feel like a nice warmness, and it calms me down a little bit. But like I haven't had it helps me sleep a little bit.
Yeah.
But I haven't had too many negative effects from it. And I used to take it. I took it for a while, and it was good. I liked it, but
yeah. You know, when I
did you
took
end up
that
waking
New Mood,
up, or you
that's what helped. It actually, the one thing that did affect is I don't have trouble sleeping, but I will wake up like constantly. I didn't with it.
See, I have the exact opposite effect. When I take that New Mood, which has a valerian root in it, I will fall asleep normal, but I wake up like 10 times.
Oh, really?
Night. Yeah, and then I'll have crazy nightmares. And
maybe it's the nightmares that wake me up. Yeah.
No, but it was.
Well,
I was gonna tell you, it's not New Mood, but I used to have another one that had valerian root in it too, and I couldn't sleep through the night with it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I'm not saying it was the valerian root.
I think it's the valerian root.
I used to have it in it.
Yeah, because I couldn't sleep either. I'd wake up, it was like every hour I'd wake up.
You should just take a bunch of tyrosine and niacin and take a nap.
Does tyrosine make you hyper?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. It's
niacin actually is good for sleep. Have you read that?
I've heard people say that after
Yeah.
all the burning and the torture that.
Well,
yeah,
if you
that
can
your
take it
body's
and fall
just
asleep
completely
before.
exhausted.
If you take it before the burning starts, it's.
But if you
You
take it
don't
before the burning
experience-
starts, like, because there's niacin, there's the niacinamide,
Yeah.
and the
The niacinamide is the one that doesn't make you turn red.
yeah. But I've heard you don't benefit as much when you don't flush.
No, you still flush. You're just asleep.
You just don't notice it.
How do you sleep when your body's burning?
It's actually comfortable because like you're under the covers and you know how you feel like hot and cold.
This
at the
must
same
be the
time.
best blanket ever.
Well, you know, like when you're burning, you feel cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't realize like the best like when it's really hot, like it's summertime. The best thing to do is take a hot shower because your body has to cool down.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. It's like when you want to be cool, you do the opposite.
Yeah.
That's the reason like drinking like something hot during the summer like cools you down because your body's trying to do the opposite, it's trying to get back to equilibrium, and it's actually cooling you down.
Yeah.
You feel cool. So yeah, I can understand why. Yeah, that makes you.
Yeah.
That's the reason like when you have a fever, you're cold.
Yeah.
Like you get the shivers when you have a really like high fever because you're so hot.
Yeah.
Say bitch, be cool. Be cool, honey. Say bitch, be cool. Tell that fucking bitch to chill.
That's what John hears every night. That's why he can go to sleep.
Chill.
Just chill out, honey bunny.
All right, now tell her it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
Promise her.
I promise.
Tell her to chill.
Just chill.
That's what John hears.
What did she take?
I don't know.
What is that from?
She needs to chill.
Pulp Fiction.
She needs to chill. Apparently.
You're saying it was apparently makes you feel cool.
Tell that bitch to be cool. Say bitch, be cool.
Be cool, honey
Say
bunny.
bitch, be cool. Tell that fucking bitch to chill.
God. Okay. So
Officially we know nothing about sleep.
or dreams.
I
Or
sleep
dreams.
sometimes.
Okay. So to get back to the dream part, you've had the what they call the.
Those wet dreams are not true. You know, I've never had one.
You never had a
You've never had a wet dream?
No,
Are you serious?
I'm not trying to be like
think you're
I would've-
cool?
No, I
Just
I'm
even
part of the
had a
cool club, John.
Yeah.
I mean, I
John's
would've-
part of the no
I'd
wet
have
dream
I
been-
know
club.
it's a little bit embarrassing, but fuck, man.
No,
I
I know
don't-
It's your human body, John. It's natural. It's
Well,
okay. You can talk about
I've
it.
heard
Yeah.
you talk about it, and I don't even want to hear about it. I'm guessing you've had them too. I've never
a
had
few
them.
times, yeah. Not very.
It's your body flushing stuff out that it needs to flush out.
Never had one.
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe
Well,
she-
they say people who
I probably
masturbate,
masturbate too
constantly don't have them.
Yeah.
Like if you don't take 1 day break, you're never gonna have it.
Or at least a
Yeah.
fucking half day.
yeah,
break.
at least half
Shit.
day break. Like if
That-
How
you
many
never,
times do you masturbate a day, John?
if you never taken a half day
3,
break,
4?
it makes sense.
Well, you don't have. Can you?
Do you have scar tissue on your
Do you,
dick?
do you still have them this late? Like,
Yeah, you can have them.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember the human male produces sperm until he dies. Like you never stop producing sperm.
That's why you have to whack off all the time.
Yeah,
Because you got to flush it out.
yeah.
That's where the urge comes from.
Okay, so
Check
you,
out the big brain on Brad. You smart motherfucker. That's right.
Thank you.
so you've had the paralyzing dreams, right? Like where you wake up and you can't move.
It's awful.
It's awful, right? And it's funny because I think
And I will bet whatever you want that I've had it worse than both of you.
okay. So I talked about this like off the air with you.
I don't know how I'll actually prove that bet.
I know. Right? Yeah, it's hard to prove fear. I've talked about this off the air with you, where I talked one time 2 nights in a row. I had that, and I sometimes I still have it where I have that dream where somebody's standing over me, a dark figure holding me down, and I can't move. And I have that, and I'll have that occasionally. And it's funny because I was reading online this week, people who have those type of dreams, it's the same thing. They say it's a dark figure holding them down, and they can't move. It's weird how like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
A dark figure over them holding them down. They
I
can't move.
guess I was pretty horny.
And usually when I am horny, yes.
Do you think it's an actual entity?
I don't know. I mean, we talked about UFOs on a previous podcast, and we talked about why people think they get probed or they get you know, and it might be there.
It.
I thought you said white people.
White people, you know, they get rolled or they get abducted, and usually they say they wake up and they see this figure over them, and I maybe it's just they're just having this dream that they feel like.
But why?
You've talked about you told me this years ago about that one dream you had. You don't want to talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm already scared because I don't know what I told you.
I think it was you said you're on the couch and you woke up and you saw a figure coming like at you. Talk about that. That was actually interesting.
No, that was scary because it was kind of like in the movies.
Yeah.
It was a mutual friend of ours that was staying with me at the time. And,
he knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He listens consistently.
So I moved to the couch in the living room. And I went to sleep, woke up. At least I thought I woke up. And there's a dark figure coming from probably 15 feet away. And it's just got his hand out, kind of like the Mask from Scream kind of guy, but in the dark. And he's reaching toward my head, and I wake up. And it's just like in the movies where you wake up, and it's like, okay, it was just a dream. And then you settle back down, and then the same thing happened again.
Ugh.
And yeah.
It's sort of like if you don't wake yourself up and you go back into sleep, you have this. You go back into the same dream.
Yeah.
Like it continues. Like, oh shit, I'm back in the dream. Like I came back.
Yeah, but it was so cliche because it was like, okay, dark figure. I woke up. Nightmare. Oh, dark figure. I woke up, nightmare. And third time, I literally stayed awake for 3 hours. I turned on the TV. I turned on the light.
Are you sure it wasn't Joey?
It could have been that man.
Sometimes I think he's, trying to fuck you.
Jerry.
I had a nightmare the other night.
About
It was
Jerry?
Pretty scary.
Go ahead.
It wasn't about Joey.
About Jerry, you mean?
Jerry.
No, go ahead.
Anyways, so
The Malarkey, I'll protect the...
it's when I took that Valerian route, actually.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. What was it?
It doesn't work. It
And
doesn't work.
I didn't have any marijuana, so I couldn't go to...
So-
I didn't have my normal sleep aid. I
So
was trying to quit.
what was the dream?
So, I fell asleep, whatever. Woke up like 20 minutes later with the scariest dream I've ever had. There was a guy in my bed, and this is...
So nothing unusual.
I know. I was about to say, it's kind of gay. Because this guy was...
Wait. I'm waiting for the unusual part of the story.
The guy was naked. I will not lie. He was
Again,
naked.
I'm waiting for the unusual part
And he
of the
was saying he was trying to get me to come with him.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yeah. And I was in bed, but
How do
he
you
was...
spell that word, Callum?
It's C-O-M-E. But his skin was like dark gray. I couldn't
Like an
see
alien?
his... Yeah. I couldn't see his face.
Oh.
And it feels so good.
And it was really, really, really dark and creepy. But he was trying to get me to like go with him, and he kept telling me like, "Oh, you know me." And I was like, I don't fucking know you.
I've tried that trick at the bars with a girl.
Dude,
it doesn't
it was
work.
so creepy though that it woke me up.
Get
And
in. You know me.
I couldn't.
You know me.
I
gotta
couldn't
go back to sleep?
I couldn't go back to sleep for like 3-4 hours. It was because once I woke up. Oh, anyways, the scary part was that I could hear him when he left. I could hear him walking out my room, like the steps.
Like in your dream? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I woke
So
up,
it fucks with your mind like,
I was like, "Oh fuck!
Did he
is
leave?
somebody
Yeah.
actually here?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a ghost? Is it an alien?
Exactly.
Like it was
Yeah.
after the alien podcast, so I was like, "Oh fuck! Did I just get anally probed, or at least tried to get anally probed?"
yeah.
But it was so fucking creepy, dude.
sure
That I had to go.
Those are the creepiest
I actually
dreams.
went to my drug dealer's house and bought some fucking weed so I could go to sleep because I was so fucking wigged out.
Those are the scary dreams. Is when you have them when you're in your house, and your dreams are you're in your house. Like it's the most like mundane stuff. But like when something weird happens and you're in your house, that's the scary because you're like,
because
is this
it's like,
real?
fuck, is it real?
Yeah,
like,
is it real? Yeah.
You know?
It's because the dream environment to which you just or whatever you want to call it, that was in your head. Right. I have good words. Dream environment. And then you wake up, you're see the dream environment.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it matches together. Yeah.
yeah. It's not like you're at Disneyland. You're like, okay, I'm in bed. It's like, okay, I was here in this room and I saw that shit. And I saw that shit and I saw that shit.
Yeah.
I wake up my ass. Oh God.
Yeah.
Thank God the creepy guy. But there's all that other shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
Exactly.
when I had my dream,
that's
I
what's
was
going
I
on.
was sleeping in my bed, and my dream took place
In
in
your bed.
my bed.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
scary.
everything was exactly the same as it was. But the only thing that I was like, okay, well, it was just a dream, not a ghost, is because I could see the person, you know what I mean? Like, I could see their skin. It was, like, gray or whatever. But it's like in my room is actually pitch black. So the fact that I could see him, you know,
Okay, so
it comforted me thinking, like, okay,
that's
it wasn't a demon trying to fuck me.
So that was what gave it
That's
away.
what I felt it was.
That's what gave you away. The fact that you could say, okay, this wasn't
Yeah.
that, or
Yeah.
Did you?
But I was really stressed out at the time, and I was actually changing my job.
Wait.
So I think it was from
do
stress.
you guys
Hold on,
know?
wait,
do-
I have the most important question.
go ahead.
Did you resist?
Yes, I did actually. Surprisingly.
It's funny that you talk about like the clues that made you say like this wasn't real. Do you guys know a guy? He used to be a magician, stage magician named James Randi. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so he's this Canadian a magician, and he's a skeptic. Like he's one of those guys who debunks sidekicks and all that, all those guys.
Sidekicks?
Sidekicks. He hates sidekicks.
Batman and
Robin? No, he just hates Robin. He's fine with Batman.
I know. I'm saying it's like and Robin.
So
I think not.
So he's always thinking like everything that's like he's talking to the dead or whatever. I mean, he's always like there's reasons why this happens. So this is an interesting story, and this has to do with what you talked about. He's talking about he said he had a really high fever, right? And he went to sleep and he had this fever dream, and he felt like he's talking about the out of body experience. People say they get out of their body and they can see their body lying there, and he said he had that.
I've had that.
You have had that?
I don't know how. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so he was talking about like he had a really high fever and he went to sleep and he had that. He had an out of body experience. He could see his body, like, and he woke up and he started thinking, okay, so he says I had a quote unquote out of body experience. So he's like, but okay, so let's look at this logically. Did I really have it? Like, why did I have it? And the thing that clued them in that it wasn't an out of body experience, it was just a fever dream, was he had a fever. So when you have a fever, you're sweating, and he said he had it for a while. So he was sweating a lot, so he needed to. He was washing sheets. He was just sweating so much that his sheets were getting wet. So he remembers a detail from his dream where when he was out of his body, there's a sheet on him that he usually uses. Like it's his usual sheet. But since he was sweating he had a fever and he was sweating so much, that wasn't what he was using.
Yeah.
So his mind was remembering the sheet that he always used that wasn't in his bed. And that's what clued him in that I didn't have an out of body experience. It was just a fever dream.
It was just a dream.
Yeah, so there's always clues to these weird things people think, I had a out of body experience, quote unquote, and they really didn't. There's a logical explanation to everything.
Yeah.
And like I found that interesting because it's coming from a skeptic who looks at things logically. And he says, okay, it's interesting. I had this, but it wasn't an out-of-body experience. It was just a fever dream.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he still said, "Oh, it's all bullshit."
It's all bullshit. Yeah, he thinks most of the stuff is bullshit. Like he looks at it as in a logical way, and
It's just your brain.
Yeah, it's just your brain. Your brain's weird, and it does
Doing
it
its
tricks you.
At the end of the day, sleep is fucking important.
Yes,
We talked
Good
about why we
point.
need sleep, why we need dreams. I think sleep and dreams are important. I do. I agree.
Well,
You want to hear? You want to hear my? You want to hear my scariest dream I've ever had?
Yes.
Since you've all had talked about.
sure.
Okay, so it has to do with it's weird. It's always like a dark figure, whatever.
But one of your DVDs was missing.
No, one of my DVDs was out of place.
It wasn't in alphabetical order.
Oh god, you know that scares the shit out. I wake up in sweats just thinking about that.
Do you still have them in alphabetical?
Okay, so
You're fucking weird.
okay, so
For people that don't know, Matt keeps his DVDs in alphabetical order.
Okay, so what is wrong with that?
It helps you find a DVD.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with alphabetical order. To me, that makes sense.
You know, it's funny though.
No, I used to have it in categories.
You gotta take one and then just put it somewhere random.
I know. Yeah, I know. You've done that. Yeah, it bugs me.
And then watch the chaos emerge.
I burned the house down. I guess. So
He tied me to a tree.
Okay. So my scariest dream. This was years ago. I think that I was like in middle school, and I'm in my old house.
64 years ago.
64 years ago.
Damn. Time flies.
So I'm in my usual house, like where I used to live, and I'm standing by one of the rooms, and in my old house we had the bedrooms connected, and there's a living room and there's another bedroom. So I was standing in one bedroom.
I remember I used to watch you sleep.
So in this dream it was nighttime. The living room was dark, but the other bedroom I could see at was lit up, and there is this like puppet.
That was your bedroom?
No, this was just a random bedroom
okay.
that was attached to the living room.
Okay.
So that bedroom was lit up, so you couldn't see into the living room because it was all dark, but you could see into the bedroom because the light was on. There's a puppet, and the puppet was alive. And I see the puppet, and the puppet sees me, and the puppet starts walking. He's in the room, and then all of a sudden he starts walking out of the room. So he's still in the room, and then all of a sudden he goes into the darkness, and I can't see him. And he was coming right at me. And right before I could feel like him grabbing me, because I can't see him, he went to the darkness. I wake up. It is still to this day the scariest dream I've ever had.
How long did you let him grab you?
Like it was weird because I did let it go on for about 5 minutes, but after 5 minutes, I'm like, this is enough.
This is odd.
It's not working for me.
Can you please finish so I can get on with my life?
And it's funny because we've all talked about, like, we all said our scariest dream, and I explained this, and isn't it that weird phenomenon where you explain your scariest dream, but you're telling the person they can't understand why it's so scary?
Yeah.
Well,
You can never.
That's how I felt
Yeah,
when
you
I
can
was-
never
yeah.
say.
Well, yours sounds pretty scary, but
Yeah, but like you don't realize how scared I was. It's hard. Like it's always. It is interesting how you tell somebody a scary, like, oh, I had this scary dream. There's no way for them to ever understand how scary it is.
I wish you could like record your dreams. You know.
Yeah, that'd be
So you could
interesting.
show people.
no, I'm very, and that goes back to my God, we're going in circles. When people have these problems in their head, and it's like, why can't they measure them?
What do you mean, like? What do you mean measure
Measure
problems?
Oh,
Explain.
like
Yeah,
Explain.
whether
Imbalances?
it's depression, anxiety.
Oh, like how depressed you are. How,
psychological problems.
right. Because,
well, how would you measure it though?
Well, that's the thing is they can measure it in the blood, but they're measuring it at one specific time, and it's fluctuating like this all the time. And for people who can't see this, I'm putting my finger up and down like a fucking crazy person.
Very
so they're
scientific.
catching one drift of a crazy up and down cycle that's going on throughout your day.
Yeah.
So at one point, maybe this will be low, this will be high, this will be low, but it doesn't affect the way you feel.
All right.
And what are we really getting at here?
No, you don't talk
I'm
about-
not sure.
So your thing is how we're gonna, but the thing is how we're gonna measure that.
No. But there are advances right now to actually replicate. In fact, I'm not going to look for them. We can look for them and bring them up soon. To replicate what people are actually seeing when they're sleeping, and they're getting better. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
They're getting to the point of imagery.
Well, yeah, because have you seen those they've had it where somebody's looking at something and they hooked up stuff to their brain and they can
Right.
sort of do the outline of what they're looking at.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah,
black.
you know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really rough right now, but it's getting to the point where they're hoping where, whatever they're seeing, what they're dreaming is the same thing, whatever the brain's seeing, and essentially it is like you said, recording dreaming. We're getting to where we might be able to one day actually record a dream.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, right now it's very early stages. It's not even close to HD. It's not even close to standard definition. It's like really rough, like fucking caveman drawing shit.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's exactly where I was getting at.
Yeah. But you're talking about measuring.
Well, that was part of the point. I'm just
Uh-huh.
saying the fact that we can only get so much out of fucking what we see through our eyes and
Right.
what we feel in our head.
Right.
And the measurements of neurotransmitters are horrible.
Yeah.
And they're not accurate.
Well,
It's a
it-
guess and check game. But the fact that we can actually replicate what we're seeing in a dream or
Right.
what we're seeing in our imagination
Right.
is closer to that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying closer, but we can actually show what they can do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fucking weird.
Yeah. It's sort of like also measuring. You know how like you can measure somebody's pain. Like
Yeah.
you know how everybody has different pain
It's like when you go
thresholds.
to the
Yeah.
doctor and they give you that 1 through 10, and
It's hard. Like how,
and the 10 is a little face crying
Crying.
with tears coming out.
yeah, and the one
Always say 10 because you'll get fun drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah. So
I want some fun drugs.
dream and sleeping, the next frontier.
Sleeping's good. I can't wait to go to sleep.
Sleeping is good. I should look forward to sleep
Yeah, me too.
sometimes. Although you know there are some times where I wish I didn't have to go to sleep.
Yeah.
No, I think actually, I think it'd be good for the economy.
What?
People not sleeping.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm like I wish I didn't have to go to sleep. Sometimes I wish like I could get so much shit done if I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it. Like I actually
I
get.
think they make things for that.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Actually clicked that by accident, but okay. It makes sense. Don't waste my time with sleep.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like sometimes I do feel like I'm wasting time sleeping. Like I really just want to get shit done, and sleep gets in the way.
But you shouldn't view sleep as wasting time. You should view
No.
sleep as building yourself.
No. I don't think you know. Yeah, maybe I should rephrase. I don't think sleep is wasting time. I just feel like I have stuff I need to get done.
Yeah.
And sleep is sort of a blockade in.
Yeah.
You know, I just like you know the old cliche. There's not enough hours in the day, and it's because you need sleep. You need to get sleep. Although I would say like sometimes when there is a problem I'm trying to like figure out, sleep is the biggest help.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'll sleep on it, and literally when they say sleep on it, it helps.
Yeah.
It does help.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know there's alternatives, right?
What?
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
To sleep. That's all I have to do. When I need to get a sleep, I just need to act like a man. Because real men don't sleep.
No.
Like John Wayne, he never slept a minute in his
Yeah.
life.
Not one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
how
crazy.
he survived so many
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
men. Yeah, real men don't need to sleep, John. Clint Eastwood doesn't even own a bed.
Yeah. Not even a futon.
No, not even a futon. You go to his house, it's weird. Like you have to stand. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't believe in sitting.
Yeah.
He thinks like sitting is for pussies.
Yeah.
That's what.
I mean, it makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, it is.
Yeah. He calls sitting pussy exercises. That's what he
Yeah.
calls it.
Telling you, whenever you do something really bad, you got an excuse here.
I guess I was pretty horny.
That's what I say every time. Yeah. Whenever I fuck up, that's
Sure,
what I
you
say.
played that one.
I love that one.
So
What is that from?
I don't know, man. What is that from?
I don't know what that's from.
I just know it's Nicolas Cage.
So you know, as we were finishing up this podcast, we got to the conclusion that we have no idea where we need sleep or dreams, but that
We have wasted all your time.
but
Waste my motherfucking time!
But I think it's an interesting topic. It's something that we're probably going to come back on. We're going to touch on. We just don't have enough time right now. But it's a multi-part really podcast on this. We'll revisit it in a few months.
Why do we yawn?
Why do we yawn?
Actually,
Isn't it weird how-
No. Actually, I can explain that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I have seen something. What's funny is a yawn is supposed to be your brain's reaction to not
John's book.
Yes.
John's book about Thursday. I know I yawned a lot reading that book.
Okay, it got into the Malarkey hour. We can disprove these facts anytime. Just put them on the comment page. When you yawn, it's supposed to be your brain's reaction to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how we feel.
No.
No, not after a yawn. We don't feel
Why
like...
am I yawning right
we
now?
don't
Just
feel-
you mentioning yawning. It's
Yeah,
weird, right?
we don't feel-
Just somebody mentioning
Yeah.
yawning, or somebody even yawning. See, like Virgil's yawning now, and John's gonna yawn in about 10 seconds.
You know, I read an article, a good theory that yawning is, it goes back on like caveman days. It's not really a good theory, actually. But it was like yawning is a social thing. And like that's why when one person yawns, you yawn too, because it's like the social interaction with the group. Like, hey, it's time for bed. Maybe that happened before language was around.
That doesn't make any sense to me, though. I mean.
But why do you yawn when you see someone else yawn?
You do. Yeah, you do. It's weird. Like, I think once you talk about it too much, your brain shuts up. But like, if you're not talking about it, somebody else.
How come when you see like a homeless guy put his finger up his ass, you put your finger up your ass, Matt?
No, I don't want to be rude.
Right? Yeah, I think it's the same thing with yawning.
You don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I don't know where we're getting with that, but okay. So yawning, sleep, dreams—they're important. I'm sure we'll revisit all this in another podcast, but I think I don't know unless y'all have something else to add to.
Well, you guys have officially learned nothing, and you're just as lost as we are.
And
that's okay.
You know, I also think too, because it's such a subjective thing. Sleep and dreams, like it's there's a commonality, but at the same time. It's really like we said earlier, like with scary dreams, it's hard for somebody to get into how you felt. And the same thing with dreams, like why we dreamed of certain things, why we feel a certain way about certain dreams. Like when you have a really happy dream and you tell somebody, it's the same thing. It's hard for them to know, like, okay, I guess that's cool, but but they have no way of understanding.
Yeah, it's like I just got off Splash Mountain, and then you describe Splash Mountain.
Yeah,
you can't. They're like, oh god, that is fun. No, it's not fun because they weren't on Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
What is your obsession with Splash Mountain?
I don't know. Wet dreams.
Have you been there?
So we're gonna take
a few times.
Is that in California?
There's one in California. There's one in Florida.
So we're gonna revisit this topic. And the next time we revisit it, we're gonna spend the whole hour sleeping. You're gonna hear us sleep, and then you
listen to the stuff.
Yes, we're gonna play, and then we're gonna play.
Does anybody sleep talk?
You know what? I had a cousin. Okay, you want to hear crazy? I had a cousin. I'm sure she still does it. Where she would. I remember she would visit us, right? And She would sleep with my sister, and she said there's a funny story.
That's called incest.
There's a funny story. My sister remembers one time she said she woke up and she was having an argument with me. Like she was having this dream, but she was sleep talking. She stood up, and it was creepy because she was sitting up and she was talking.
Yeah.
And she said that she mentioned my name and she was arguing with me, but she was just sleep talking.
Yeah.
It was creepy because. She tried to wake her up and she wouldn't, she thought she was awake and said, what's wrong with her? But she was just sleep talking.
Yeah.
It's the creepiest
I've seen a guy sit, like he was laying down and he sat up straight.
You synagogued with the guy?
Started talking. Well, I synagogue, normally, but, sometimes.
Synagoguing? Only on Sundays.
Yeah. Well, yeah, something like that. But,
sleep talking is weird.
Sleep talking, I sleep talk.
You sleep talk?
Yes.
People have told you?
Told that, yeah.
Yeah.
I've said some crazy shit, dreaming.
Fuck me in the ass.
But John's awake when he says stuff.
Yeah.
No, but
he says that.
For the record, and I'm not proud of it, and I actually envy you too. I have the worst sleep problems in the world. In fact,
you just need to smoke more weed, man.
It's very possible that could be.
Like, why don't you smoke weed every day before you go to sleep? Every night before you go to sleep. It would honestly fix your sleep problem.
It's like Dr. Dre say.
It probably fixes a lot of problems.
It's like Dr. Dre raps.
Smoke
weed every day.
Yeah.
No, in fact, yeah, you already know I usually sleep with earplugs, and yeah, I don't know.
But that's just to shut out the voices that you hear every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know you're making a joke, but I'm saying like every little tick, every little tack, whether it's a ceiling tick or whether it's a bird outside going.
Yeah,
I don't want.
That was a good bird impression. Do it again.
Do it again.
I don't want.
Wait, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Do the bird.
Do it again. Oh my god, was that a red sparrow? I think that was a red sparrow.
Red sparrow. Do it again.
I'm not doing
Do it again. One more time, John.
One more time for our audience.
I'm No, I'm not doing it.
Come on, they want it.
They
We're
want
trying to give the audience
What they want?
something helpful here.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
But when I hear,
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying.
Hey, it
like,
wakes you up.
Oh, absolutely.
Do it
my
again.
mind, unless there's something like I drank or I took something that
You took those horse tranquilizers.
slow my mind down. My mind is racing 100 miles an hour, and I have like 24 things to do.
All right.
And probably only like 4 of them are important. But my mind can't separate what's important and what's
Yeah.
not important.
Do any of y'all sleepwalk?
No,
I have
I've
before.
never done it.
I used to do it as a kid.
Yeah, me
Really?
too. When I was
Yeah.
a kid, yeah.
I actually had an incident where I guess I woke up, and I didn't know this until they told me. I actually got up, and I went and I peed. But
Yeah.
I peed in the trash can.
That's what my brother did.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
peed in the trash.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was a laundry hamper. But yeah,
Yeah.
he slept walking, peed in
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And then I went back to sleep. Like if I went to the restroom and
Yeah.
I went back to sleep.
My brother did that when he was younger.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. I used to do it when I was little, and then as I became an adult, I don't that I know of. I don't sleepwalk, but it was weird. It's weird. I used to do it all the time. When I was
But I
a kid.
think you don't know. There might be pee everywhere.
There
in
might
your
be piss
house.
everywhere. No wonder my house smells like piss.
I just get angry.
I don't have a cat either, so it's like I can't blame it on the cat. Yeah. Maybe I should get a cat just to blame it on.
I wake up and I get angry because there's piss everywhere. I don't have any friends.
So yeah, see, sleepwalk is also another weird thing. Why people sleepwalk?
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Because like, you ever seen somebody who's sleepwalking? It's the creepiest thing. We have a mutual friend who I room with in college. They used to sleep talk and sleepwalk all the time. It was the creepiest thing.
His name is Earl.
His name is Earl. We'll call him Earl. But yeah, Earl used to always wake up
Earl?
and he would sleepwalk and he would sleep talk, and it was the weirdest, crazy. And it's creepy when you see somebody who's.
Yeah.
It is really creepy.
Matt would grab his junk in the morning. He would not remember.
Well, I mean, I heard that was the way you know how they say you're not supposed to wake him up.
Yeah, you're just supposed to keep him happy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but like I said, we'll talk about that in another podcast. We'll talk about sleep talking, sleepwalking. I mean, I find sleep. I find
sleep breakdancing.
I do that.
sleep day trading. Have you ever seen anybody sleep day
Oh
trading?
God, you know how much of my hair lost? Sleep after hours market day trading. That's a serious condition.
It's an interesting topic. I think just sleep and dreams and all that stuff is really interesting. And
Yeah.
we've only scratched the surface, and we will have other podcasts on this subject, and on even the UFOs, alien we did earlier. We're gonna most of these topics that we talk about, we're gonna have multiple parts.
Ancient aliens.
Because we just can't. It's an hour isn't enough. So,
Yeah.
but we're gonna wrap this up for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed John's rant about the Super Bowl.
And his constant gay
Conspiracy.
jokes.
And we will see you next week. Where we're probably gonna do a topical podcast next week, but look out for these podcasts. These like we said, this year's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of changes for the Malarkey hour.
Should we leave with good advice?
As we always, like always, John.
You should not drink and bake.
And with that, we will leave you for another week. Hopefully, you have a safe week. Valentine's Day is coming up, John. We're gonna have our Valentine's Day podcast next week.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
John's gonna dress up as Cupid, and he's gonna. If you call in, John
I'm
will.
gonna shoot Matt in the chest, and then I'm just gonna see what happ's.
John's gonna dress up as Cupid.
I'm questioning
See
this
what happens. That
mythological
doesn't sound
bullshit.
good.
John's gonna dress up as Cupid, and if you call,
Right in the chest.
if you call in, and you have a
close range arrow.
if you have somebody that you feel strong feelings for romantically, John will shoot them with a love arrow, and they will magically fall in love with you. So,
Or die.
Or die, either one. So, with that, we will leave you.
The views of Mac do not necessarily express the views of the Malarkey Hour.
So we will leave you for another week, and we will see you next week. You have a good week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.